Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today is going to be the first entry about Formula 1 that we're going to have, and from now on we're going to be having short entries about every race that happens over the weekend. And yeah, this weekend we saw Turkey. It was a very interesting race. We actually had a very interesting season, and I'm really happy for Valtteri Bottas. I actually hope that he gets a few more wins before he moves to Alfa Romeo for next year. This race, we actually didn't get to see Fernando Alonso having one of those amazing starts that he usually has. And unfortunately for him, he had an accident which kind of like relegated him to the back of the field, and he wasn't able to recover. This race, the tire and pit strategy was really important and crucial for those teams and drivers who did really well. We saw people like Sebastian Vettel, Leclerc, and Hamilton actually being affected by tire and pit strategies. We actually get to hear Lewis Hamilton arguing with his engineer about when to go in for a new set of tires. And that's really interesting. Kind of reminds us that it's still a team sport. And it's one of those things, right? The driver has the feedback happening in real time, literally with his body. But the engineers have all of the data that Lewis Hamilton is not able to see. So you have to be able to really have that open communication in which Lewis Hamilton has the feeling, his team has all the data, right? So it was very interesting. Unfortunately for him, it didn't work out as well as he was hoping, but you know, it made for a really interesting race. For me and many of you, I think that the highlight of this race was the battle that we see between Perez and Hamilton, right? Like this was a battle in which Perez was able to come out on top, and which was not good just for him as a driver, but also for his team and his teammate Max, which he's fighting the championship with Lewis, right? Perez is a really interesting driver, and I don't say this because I'm Mexican. He's actually very intermittent in the sense that he can have an amazing race and he can have amazing passes, and he usually performs really well during the race. He's more of a Grand Prix driver than a pole position kind of driver, right? And there's other times that we kind of forget about him, right? So he's very intermittent. He can have amazing displays of technique and qualities, and sometimes we kind of forget about him. He just kind of goes with the bunch, right? And at least in my opinion, my perspective is that the reason why we see great drivers and legends is because of their mindset, right? And maybe this is the reason why we see he has the same skills that Hamilton may have, right? But he's able to maybe only do it like every second or third race, while Hamilton is able to display these skills almost all the time, maybe like over 90% of the time, while Perez is able to perform maybe like at 70-80% most of the time, and once in a while we see a Perez like performing at 90-something% of his capabilities, right? So after that amazing battle between Perez and Hamilton, now we go back to North America, and Max is leading the championship once again. He lost it for the previous race to Lewis. He's back leading, and I'm actually really excited, not just even for who's going to win the championship between Max and Lewis, but who's going to get the third place in the championship. Because there's more drivers, not just the Red Bull and the Mercedes, who's Bottas and Perez, who could get that third place. There's other drivers like the Ferraris, the McLarens, maybe even another one like who could be like a bit of a surprise for some of us, could actually end up getting that third place, right? So that's going to be really cool, really interesting. So don't forget to leave your comments and tell me who you think is going to win not just the championship, but also that third place. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you after the next race. Cheers.